How's it going, guys? Welcome to another video. Today I'm gonna teach you how you can absolutely transform your account and be able to double and triple dip in things like dungeon tournaments, dungeon divers, and champion training all at the same time. This is something any somewhat newer player should be trying to do as soon as they can on their account because it really is a game changer. Like being able to farm all of those things at the same time while building yourself chickens and food for your next rank 6 champion is absolutely amazing. So I hope you find the video helpful, and if you do, a like and subscribe would be awesome. Also, quick update, the cat is feeling much better. We went to the vet today and she got a little bit of antibiotics, so everything should be fine in a few days. Don't forget you can download raid through my download link if you want to start raid the right way with 3 amazing champions all for free. Just by using my download link, you're gonna get your hands on the legendary champion Corrado as soon as you finish the tutorial, and also on level 15 the top tier epic champion Ugo, and on level 30 the top tier epic reviver Tagore. And you're also gonna be able to get your hands on one of the amazing champions with the promo codes in your first 24 hours. Now let's get into the video. Okay, so what is this double and triple dipping I'm talking about? Well, right now we have a perfect example for this. If you guys notice, we have a dragon tournament, which is the perfect kind of dragon tournament, by the way. This one is hunt for artifacts in the dungeon's lair, so it doesn't even matter how many turns you take. And the other two things we have right now would be dungeon divers, which is again kind of the same thing, and also champion training. And what do all of these three things have in common? Well, you need to be doing Dragon for all of them. And what is the best place to be farming for such a tournament? Dragon 20. Dragon 20 is the most efficient place you could be farming for all of these three things at the same time, but if you're also looking for bigger, better gear, you might even consider doing things like Dragon 25. And we are actually gonna have to do Dragon 25 for this one, and I'm gonna explain soon why. The reason why Dragon 20 is the best usually is, it's because it's giving you the biggest it's because it's costing you only 16 energy per run, whereas stage 25 costs 20, but it gives you close to the same amount of dungeon diver and dragon tournament points. The only difference is, here you have a slightly better chance of getting bigger, better gear, so it's definitely not the worst idea in the world to be farming here. But to be fair, stage 21 also makes the cut because it's slightly less energy, and you are still going to be getting close to the same amount of points for both dungeon divers and dragon tournaments. And like I said, we will be actually able to farm both our food and our dungeon divers at the same time while doing dragon, and the way we do that is with an amazing solo farmer champion. In this case, we have ourselves one of the greatest champions for this thing, which is Walking Tomb Drain. And I do understand that a lot of you probably will not have something like this on your account, but it doesn't have to be exactly this guy. Off the top of my head, we also have Artak, who can do the same thing, again with burns, because that's what this guy is doing. His A2 is where the money is at. He attacks all enemies, has 100% chance when booked to place HP burn debuff on all enemies for 2 turns, and this debuff cannot even be resisted, which is amazing. This basically means we can ignore completely accuracy for this champion, and that way we get to concentrate on all of the other important stuff. Like I said, the other champions that could be doing this off the top of my head would be somebody like Artak, who is actually the champion I built for my own account when I first started out, and he's absolutely amazing for this job because again he is placing HP burns, he's dropping attack for the opponent, which is also pretty nice so they don't hit him as hard, and he's also instantly activating HP burns, and he also has a pretty amazing passive which helps him stay alive even without a very special build for him, even though it's definitely gonna help him against the harder stages. Other champions that would be good contenders for something like this would be even somebody like Tudor, if I can actually find him. Yeah, he should be around here somewhere, right? There's that bad boy. This guy is also capable of such farming strategy because he, instead of HP burns, is actually doing a lot of poisons. Like, look at this nonsense. He's placing 2 poisons with poison sensitivity, and he's also triggering them easily with his A3, so again, pretty amazing stuff. And another champion you could be considering here would also be Corvus, which I don't have, and I also don't even know what exactly he does, but it's still, again, revolving around triggering poisons and nonsense like that. I would never in a million years have guessed this guy's from the frickin' Sacred Order, but yeah, I guess it kind of makes sense. He kind of does look like a plague doctor or something like that. But yeah, this bad boy also kind of does the same stuff like Tudor, and he is not that hard to actually keep alive, so he should also be very capable for such strategies, I'm pretty sure of it. Okay, enough about that. What is this strategy we speak of? Well, it's really no rocket science. You basically build the guy so he doesn't die. He doesn't really need all that much for his damage to happen. It's all about the HP burn, so that is a good amount of damage on its own. And what's the rest of the strategy? Well, 4 pieces regen set, 2 pieces immortal set. It's really not that complicated. We get plus 15% HP from the Immortal set 2-piece, and it also heals you by 3% every turn. And we also have the Regen set, which straight up heals you by 15% each turn. So that's a grand total of 18% each turn, which should be more than enough to be keeping champions like this alive for enough time for them to actually clear. What are the really important stats you're looking for here? Well, they need to be decently quick. You are gonna be trying to take at least 2 turns by the time the opponents take 1. So 210-ish plus speed ought to do it for most. And you do need a very good amount of HP pool, because the amount of HP pool is gonna determine how much you're gonna be healing. The other thing you obviously need is defense, so you don't have to take too much damage in the first place. So that would be a nice little substat to be looking for. And if you really have extra stats to be going around, you could also get yourself resists, because this way you're also not going to be getting debuffed 97% of the times. I don't know if you guys noticed, but even if you have 10 gajillion million resistance, you still actually have 3% chance to still get debuffed by the opponents. That's just like a statistical error, or I don't even know. Basically a Hail Mary situation, which basically fucks any strategies from being 100% resistance reliant. But yes, it is definitely something to take note of. But in our case, around 250, maybe even 300 resistance would cover you for right about any dungeon in around stage 20. So yeah, these are the stats we managed to build on Zadie's account in his first 3 months, by the way. He is literally on day 80 something when we built him this champion. And yeah, it just goes to show that in Raid, you could be achieving amazing things. All you gotta do is put a lot of blood, sweat, tears, work, and... well, still, yeah, he did actually spend here and there, so he is quite ahead in the game, a little bit more than he is supposed to be for this month, but still, this is very, very doable, even if you're in your 4th, 5th month, that kind of stuff. All you gotta do is get your hands on the important legendary books for the important skill. In this case, we needed 5 legendary books to land on this thing. He also got super lucky actually getting himself Blessing, which could be a blessing, it could be a curse. I'm gonna explain more about that in a second. And he also actually managed to get himself a pretty decent-ish relic for this champion. This one is gonna help us a lot with the resistance, but if you don't have something like this, you could also just slap something that straight up just gives him health. Like this thing, for instance. You don't care about the turn reduction, but this thing is gonna give you like 2,000-3,000 health if you rank it up and level it up a few times, so that can be pretty amazing. But yeah, these are details that you don't even need. Technically, this strategy has been around Raid for as long as the Regen and Immortal set have been around, which is forever, question mark. So you don't even need things like relics or blessings, but it definitely makes the requirements for your gear a lot easier. And you're gonna notice we literally don't have any good 6-star gear on here. Like the only good 6-star gear here is this gauntlet, which is, to be fair, pretty good actually. Like we have at least a little bit of speed, a whole lot of resistance, flat HP, but then again, what kind of HP would it be when you already have the percentages at top? And this could have been defense percent instead, but it ain't. But all around, it's definitely not a top tier glove by any stretch. And the other 6-star item here we have is this helmet, which the only thing it had going for it is the double roll on the speed, but at the end it did a Hail Mary extra little bit of HP percent, which definitely helped us quite a lot. The other stuff here is borderline acceptable. Of course, you are going to need a speed boot, because it's going to be very hard for you to actually build a good amount of defense and HP while building a decent amount of speed. So this is only a 5-star boot. It didn't even roll speed on the Ascension, and it's still more than enough for what we're trying to do with it. So it's just a plus 40 speed, good amount of defense on it, a little bit of HP on it, definitely pretty strong. The chesticle is straight up resistance, because we did want to actually cover that margin, and our HP is already good enough. If for you it's not enough, maybe slap an HP percent chest instead, maybe a defense percent chest, but resistance definitely ain't bad either. For the shield, this is what we managed to muster. Nothing really that amazing, but to be fair, these are exactly the 4 stats we were looking from this shield, so it is actually kind of amazing. The only thing that's not amazing, it's not 6-star. If that was the case, this would have been so much extra stats, but it is what it is. And the weapon, it has speed, resistance, and a little bit of HP. Nothing too amazing, but it was still good enough. For the ring, we have defense as the main stat, because it rolled a good amount of HP percentages, defense percent, HP flat a little. Definitely could have been a lot lot worse than this, and the amulet definitely is a good place for you to be finding a little bit of extra resistance, but it's still pretty decent with flat HP, with extra flat defense, and a little bit of resistance. Definitely nothing to scoff at. And last but not least, flat HP on the banner. This could have been resistance if we were missing too much of that, but since we weren't, we went with a fast HP based banner. The HP percent could have been bigger, this could have been defense percent, but it ain't. But as you're gonna see, it is more than enough. This is basically a similar build you could be doing for all of the other champions, with the difference that there you're actually gonna need accuracy. With our champion, just because it has exactly saying this thing, this debuff cannot be resisted, that means we do not need a speck of accuracy, and that's why we could have gone with resistance here instead of accuracy. We went HP here instead of accuracy, so this build is definitely pretty beginner friendly, nothing too amazing as you saw, but you definitely need to be finding the right stats on these types of sets. And last but not least, here are the masteries we went with. We went with the offense tree so we can get ourselves a little bit of extra damage from the War Master, and this is going to be important for things like Dragon, because there you cannot be dilly-dallying forever. You actually gotta kill the thing before the thing kills you, because the damage does amp up, so it is going to be important for you to be slapping as hard as you can. The thing we're missing here is this thing, but yeah, it's kind of rough. The reason why we don't have that is because we have this. Increases damage inflicted by 5% when attacking with 50 HP or less, which is nice. But if you really want to be getting this thing, that means you also are probably not going to be getting this thing, so your speed is going to be a bit lower. Or you could get both of these, but in that case, this tree is going to become a lot weirder. So I don't know, maybe these are indeed the best masteries you could be going for this guy. Let me just remove myself for a second so you get to see it in all of its glory. And now let's move to the left side, and here we can see we are grabbing the HP. We also got heals this champion. Exaltant Death has a 30 chance of increasing turn meter by 10 when debuff cast by this champion is removed or expired. This is definitely gonna make you a little bit quicker during the waves. Increasing the base stat set bonuses of all artifacts says that increase base stats by 15% is pretty decent. You're still gonna get this one is pretty okay. It's not gonna give you much if we gotta be completely honest, given you don't really give base stats. You're just getting like 15% HP from your immortal set, so this does nothing for the regen set, right? I'm not mistaken here, so this one is a little bit of the weird side, but it's still not the worst thing in the world to take. And to be fair, this is not exactly very usable, but this would be nice for you to get, because you are going to be extending the HP burn this way, which could be pretty cool. On the left hand side, we have increased the value of heals this champion casts by 5%, so this is where the regen set is gonna heal you for a little bit more. We also have increased the amount of healing and the value of shield buff placed by this champion by 10% if you have under 40% HP, so that's gonna heal you even harder. This also helps you by a lot. And last but not least, you're also gonna be a lot quicker for each dead ally, which does help. Depending on the exact champion you're gonna be using, you might actually double check for these masteries, because in some cases the defense tree might also make sense, but for Walking Tomb Drang, these definitely are working great. Like I said, if you have access to some kind of relic, it would be nice for you to slap something, even if it doesn't do absolutely anything for the champion, just for the sake of the flat stats. For instance, this is a relic right about anybody should have if you've been in the game for a few months. So this is straight up gonna give you extra HP. You could also consider something that gives defense instead, like this one, even though this does absolutely nothing for us. Straight up defense is fine. Also, if you level up to 9, it's gonna give you HP. So yeah, that kind of stuff definitely could help yourself not having to go too hard on the build itself. And we also have the blessing here, which is helping a lot in things like Dragon and Spider, but it does not help too much against things like Ice Golem, because against that guy, if this thing procs at the wrong moment, you're gonna be getting your teeth kicked in real soon, because that means the boss is gonna slap you with ignore 100% defense if the two idiots are not dead, and most of the time they're not. So yeah, even though this thing straight up gives you 7500 HP, which is pretty nice for what we're trying to do, and the extra damage is super nice, helping you clear out the Dragon and the Spider quickly, as well as the waves, it could actually backfire against Ice Golem, so it's definitely a double-edged sword for sure. And like I said, you don't even need this thing if you have a little bit bigger, better gear, but it definitely does help if you have it. The other cool thing about this champion is it actually increases his HP by 30%, so even though right now we have about 85,000 health, with the aura, dude goes actually above 100k, which is absolutely amazing. And also a good portion of the damage actually comes from this man's passive. Both if he's above 50% HP or below, he is going to be dealing a little bit of extra damage in some way, shape, or form. Anyway, enough talking, let's actually see the man in action, so you guys get to witness how amazing this thing actually could be for you. Since this champion is actually a green spirit affinity, this means that stage 20, which is normally the best place to be farming, is not going to be an amazing place for us to farm, which means it would be far better for us to be farming on a red affinity stage, because that is where we're going to be landing strong hits and the bosses and the waves are going to be landing weak hits against us. So we already did this on stage 25, and let me show you that. We can go to the man's team setup, because this guy actually does need a little bit of team setup in some cases. Let's add a third food champion. And what is the team setup for this guy? On the first two waves we kind of don't care. This is like this because we set it up for Spider as well, but no, actually this is wrong. It doesn't matter anymore. So yeah, for the first two waves we don't care. For the second as well, like I said, and for the third we actually want to be removing the equalize the HP of all allies, because he's going to be the only one alive. He's also not going to be killing anybody with this thing, so it's kind of redundant. We don't really care about it. You're actually going to be dealing a bit more damage if you just use the A2 and the A1, because the A1 also actually activates HP burns, and that helps big time. So yeah, this is a little bit of a downside for this champion, but then again, I think most will need a little bit of a team setup to actually farm efficiently. So you are going to have to go into team setup and remove the food champions from here in order to actually do the thing correctly. Let's dive in. Stage 25 dragon, less than 3 months account. Sorry, I had to fix up my audio, and as you see, first wave is gone with 1 minute into it. Pretty decent. Second wave also takes about 2 minutes. Look at all of these weak hits, and look at us resisting like a champ, by the way. Some of these waves actually do have bombs on them, and that's a very hard big piece of damage. You might actually not be able to survive. So the resistance is definitely helping us big time here. It does look a little bit low, but I do believe it's a 100% run. Even though against the dragon you're gonna see it's a little bit of a butt clencher too. And 2 minutes in, we're already at the dragon. You're gonna notice this guy gets this purple bar, and every time he does that, his damage increases. Right now we took 23,000, and I think we're also gonna take at the end 100,000, so be on the lookout for that. If you're not quick enough with the damage, you are eventually dying here. So that's why it's important for you to have damage masteries, so you actually do a good amount of damage, and also the speed is important, so you actually do the thing fast enough. 46,000 damage this time. Check out those weak hits. This is definitely important. Strong hits for us, weak hits for him. All is good in the world. 69. It started from 23, now we're at 69. I don't think I noticed any brimstones activating, by the way. Look at this, 92,000. Quite the butt clencher. If we have to take another hit, we're dead. But alas, we are not gonna need to do that because the damage is done, hopefully. And there you have it. A little bit of auto finish, but I do believe it's pretty close to 100%. And look at that. A beautiful 6-star piece by... Oh my goodness, this is a beautiful, beautiful piece. Crit damage with crit rate, speed, and attack. Oh my stars. Let me actually see how this puppy rolls. Oh god, this is an amazing piece. Congratulations, Zadie. I humbly envy you. 20% crit rate on a crit damage glove. This is one of the best gloves on the account right there. So yeah, pretty nice farming actual good dungeons while farming for food champions, guys. Look at this. 25 for the dungeon divers. Look at this. 25 for the dungeon tournament, 230 for CVC, so we're actually quadruple dipping right now. And also for the 2 events, we're also taking points, so absolutely amazing stuff. Now let me show you what Ice Golem is looking like, and here again we are gonna need to find the good affinity for us. Stage 20 is okay, but the waves are actually disgusting. On the waves here on stage 20, there's reflect damage, and our walking Tomb Drang actually kills himself on wave number 2, quite consistently I might add. So instead we're doing the weak affinity against us, where the waves are also actually different and much more bearable. And here I do believe it's still a perfect 4-man food farm team. So let's go ahead and see that in action. Let's just speed it up. Here we actually get reflect damage on the first wave, but here these don't hit as hard. Definitely not the quickest out of the lot, but consistently around 1 minute for a wave, and just as much for the boss too. All around good stuff. Here it's looking a little bit on the questionable side, but I think we're still 100% here. Look at those resistance happening. Okay, and now it's the boss battle. Here, like I said, Brimstone could absolutely fuck us up, and the reason behind that is this thing. If we actually drop this man below one of his thresholds while the two idiots are alive with thanks to Brimstone, I'm pretty sure we're gonna wipe, but let's see. The cool thing about HP burns and poisons against Ice Golem is he actually does not trigger his threshold damage if he gets below those thresholds thanks to HP burn or poisons. I think also the Geomancer's passive works like that. Oh god, we got killed. Well, that's a damn shame. I thought we had this under control as well. Alas, that was not the case. So instead of this being a 4-man food team, we can actually do something different. We can actually use the spider team where we know it's also not 100% on 4 people foods. So in this case, we're dropping to 3 foods instead. And we're gonna bring a nice support champion here. It doesn't have to be an amazing legendary like Lady Avirith. It could also be somebody like Ugo, let's say, or Rector Draft. But the problem with Rector Draft is she will keep on reviving the food champions, and that's not a very amazing thing to be happening. Anyway, let's do this thing with Lady Avirith now, and this for sure should be a 100%. And it's still pretty decent because 3 champions are gonna be farming XP in the meantime, which is also no joke. So yeah, everybody's account is different. As long as you have some kind of a decent support champion next to your solo farmer, like I said, even Ugo ought to do it because he is bringing a good amount of heal, leech, all of that good stuff, so that should be more than enough. You should be able to at least 2-man farm food like this in dungeons. Even though it's not the quickest out of the lot, it's definitely very rewarding and very worth it. So you can actually be spending your energy in more important things like Minotaur, like potion keeps, that kind of stuff. God knows you're gonna need a lot of things to be spending stuff on. Hey, look at that, we got bombs on us. Good thing Walking Tomb Drake has resistance. The problem on this boss is that the ads are actually dropping our healing from time to time. Like, look at this, Lady Avirith right now has the block healing, and I think we should have resisted that actually, but maybe we got hit by the stupid 3%. I mean, we got slapped by it right now again. Is this even resistible? Should be. But yeah, that definitely cost us the last run, I'm pretty sure. And yeah, look at this, the Ice Golem never really even summoned his ads a second time after we're done with the first wave, just because we actually dropped him all these time thanks to the HP burn, which is awesome. Okay, and there we have it. 4-minute run, definitely not the best out of the lot, but still pretty worth it in order to actually farm food while you're doing everything else. And the last thing you could be doing with this team would be something like Spider. You're definitely not gonna be able to do things like Sand Devil or Phantom Shogun with something like this, and Fire Knight definitely takes a little bit of extra stuff. It's definitely not something you're gonna be comfortable farming with too much food on, so I wouldn't even bother trying at all. The last thing, like I said, would be Spider. And we do have stage 20 in Spirit, so this is an okay affinity for our Walking Tomb Drake, and we are going to be using our Lady Avirith food team again, just to show. Here we go. It's definitely pretty decent. Here we start off strong with the HP burns and such, but the Spider is going to heal back basically to full when he takes a turn, which is not very fun, but it is what it is. Technically, I could actually set this guy up to start with his A1 and A3 instead, so that he has A2 ready here, but he already does have it anyway, so it's kind of whatever. And yeah, now we have basically 4 turns by the time this guy heals a buttload thanks to his spiderlings. No, actually, he heals from this thing, so it's only 2 turns we have, but we are gonna get there, I'm pretty sure. The lady is definitely taking a fat hit. Yeah, he actually did heal back up with all the spiderlings. None of them actually died there, which was kind of dumb. But even with the spiderlings never dying, you're still actually farming it. And there we have it, 2 minutes, and each of these food champions got 6,500 XP each, which definitely ain't bad. So yeah, that's the whole strategy here. Like I said, the man is literally not even 90 days in. We did this yesterday, so day 85 for him. He has access to quite a few good burners, by the way. He has Tomb Drink, he has Tamesha, he has Michinaki, like damn son. You have been getting quite the luck, not gonna lie. Things like Geo and such, so pretty strong stuff. But yeah, for Spider, something like Ugo might also be good enough. He is gonna be removing debuffs and stuff like that. He should be fine on things like Ice Golem as well, if you're not good enough to just solo farm with your solo farmer, that kind of stuff. Do let me know in the comments if you guys want a detailed guide for my Artak as well. He is definitely a lot better built with 5-star Ascension and all of that, so I can't really make it too beginner friendly there. But yeah, basically these are the important stats. HP, speed, have him in regen plus immortal, preferably. And if you get the slap in resistance, that also is a huge bonus for a lot of these places. Hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, a like and subscribe would be awesome. And don't forget to download raid through my download link if you want to star raid the right way. Thanks for watching. I'm Chris05, and I'll see you in my next video or stream.